Hey guys, what's going on? This is Matt Winning at winningstrength.com, and today I'm going to show you some different exercises that you can do on an incline bench that you may not have thought of or you may not have done in a long time. So what I want to do is show you some exercises that we put on the apps, both on Patreon and Train Heroic, and maybe get you out of a little bit of a slump on getting better or having new things to do in the gym. Because let's face it, doing the same exercises over and over again gets boring and also gets to where it doesn't help you as much each time you do it through law of accommodation. So let's get to the video. The first exercise that I want to show you guys that I don't see done in normal gyms is called the Cuban press. The Cuban press you can do standing, but I really like to do it on a reverse incline because I feel the reverse incline forces you to be more strict, use less lower back, and if you're training legs during that week, you don't fatigue your lower back in a leaned over position for too long while you're not focusing on the right areas. So here, the Cuban press, we lay straight flat down, then we row it up with our elbows out high, then we turn it, then we straighten it, then we bring it back, then we turn it, and then we drop it. It's got a lot of steps to it, but this exercise is really good for your rear delts, really good for your rotator cuff and your shoulder in general. So what you want to do is make sure you're doing these in your workout, especially if you already have shoulder problems or you're trying to prevent them. So out, twist, straighten, back, twist, down. Do not get in a rush when you do this exercise. Make sure you're focusing on form and technique. And I'm a 600-pound bencher and I'm using 5-pound dumbbells. The most I use on this is like 25s. So it's not a heavy weight exercise. It's more of a rehab exercise that we either do as a warm-up or we do as an accessory. This exercise is a bent over rear delt fly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the incline bench. If you can only adjust it to this height, that's fine. But ideally we wanna go up maybe a click or two. And now we're gonna lean on this and we're actually gonna do rear delts. So we're gonna pull the weight to the side. I find that leaning on my forearm with my forehead keeps me from rotating my body as much. Now we can do this knuckles out, pinkies out, or thumbs out. Find which way feels more comfortable for you, but remember, don't avoid certain positions. You don't want to do the same one all the time. Switch it, mix it, match it a little bit, but this is how you can really isolate the rear delt, side delt without getting a lot of other body motion involved, is having this as a leaning point. The next exercise is a hanging plate, or you could use a kettlebell press. Now, what we do is, I'll undo all this so you can see. We take a normal length band, we fold it over, right? And then we feed it either through the hole, or if we have some of these iron grip plates, feed it through the handle. And then now you can press doing this. This is a great exercise to make sure that the stabilizers are building at the same rate as the pressing muscles. Oftentimes the stabilizers are the muscles in which cause the biggest problems, get the injuries, etc. But oftentimes what we find is we don't focus on them until they're hurt. So what I'd like you guys to try to do is focus on the small muscles and make sure that they're gaining control, stability, potentiation, and strength as close to the same rate as the big muscles as possible. This means doing stuff chaotically is important for making sure that your joints stay healthy and all the small muscles and passive tissue stay resilient when you start pressing big weights. The next exercise I want to talk about is the incline tricep rollbacks. Now these exercises are really good for the medial head of the tricep, and if you're trying to see how much somebody benches, don't look here, look right here, in this medial head. If you have a large chunk of meat on that medial head, chances are that person bench presses a lot of weight. But how do you build that? Pretty easy. This exercise is one of my first big arm builders. You keep it at a hammer grip, come all the way down till it stops, and then straighten it. All the way down till it stops, straighten it. Now you can do this in a hammer, you can do this hammer and then twist it to straight, which I don't like as much because you can use more shoulder to do so. I like to keep it just like this, right here. This is an amazing arm builder for the bench press and just aesthetics in general. But one of the top exercises that I use to build a bench press over 600 pounds have is incline barbell which everybody's accustomed to, but I do it a certain way that I think will help your training much better. And I call it the throat press. So what I'll do is take a fairly narrow grip, usually first finger on the smooth, take it out, and then I'll actually bench it to my throat instead of down to my chest. I find this keeps it a lot more in my arms and also keeps my pecs healthy. You notice a lot of the guys you see tear pecs are out wide and they're going low on an incline, which is causing too much stress at the pec. We want to keep it in our elbows as much as possible, and I find that the throat press helps that tremendously. So I've showed you a couple of different exercises that I think the incline press should be available in your training. If you want to see when and where to rotate these, come on top to your Patreon or Train Heroic and we can show you exactly where we put these in their training schedule, and you can follow how to rotate exercises smart so you're not only making progress but you're reducing mileage. Now these aren't the only exercises that you can do on an incline, but these are ones that I wanted to pick that you don't see in normal gyms. So please like, subscribe, and comment below the exercises that you see done on an incline that maybe most people wouldn't have seen before. Go visit winningstrength.com and I'll talk to you guys soon.
As a matter of fact, I'm on a strength training program from a world-class powerlifter, a world record-holding powerlifter, Matt Winning.
Matt Winning's the man. I have his belt squat. Not a bad plan.
And it's been a lot of fun training with so much structure and with so much focus on posterior chain. My glutes, my hamstrings, my low back is weaker than a f***ing kitten. It's embarrassing. So we're focusing on that. It's a well-rounded program.
Big thing about the posterior chain is if it's really strong, it just prevents a whole lot of different kinds of back injuries and leg injuries. And so if you have a really weak posterior chain, like that's a fucking problem. And you're going to want to rectify that by getting it stronger, especially if you're a physical person like Stone Cold is and doing a lot of physical stuff. Like you're going to want to lean into that shit. That's it's smart that he hired Matt Winning for sure. Just generally a smart move to hire Matt Winning.
I'm on Do For Me. I'm in the third week. It's a 12-week process.
Periodization. It's nice.